I'm Molly McTaggart here at the newsroom at Humber's North Campus. It's Wednesday, April 25th. Here's what's making news. The investigation continues as the City of Toronto is in mourning. Investigators are now looking for answers after 10 people were killed and 15 injured Monday afternoon when a van mounted a curb and plowed into pedestrians. Alec Manassian was charged with 10 counts of first-degree murder and 13 counts of attempted murder in relation to the attack. A two-pronged police effort is being made to gather evidence that spans over 2 kilometers from Finch to Shepherd on Yonge Street. One will focus on forensic evidence and the other will determine motivation. No terrorism charges have been pressed. Toronto Chief of Police Mark Saunders said yesterday that every piece of the puzzle was still needed. 25-year-old Manassian from Richmond Hill was described by classmates as socially awkward. One anonymous classmate said he was surprised he could drive a car. Manassian left a cryptic and disturbing Facebook post in praise of Elliot Rodger, who killed 6 people in California back in 2014. Both Manassian and Rodger were part of an online-based extremist anti-feminist group that called themselves incels, short for involuntarily celibate. Incels were banned from Reddit for condoning rape and misogyny. The numbers in his post referenced designation in the Canadian Infantry in service and in the armed forces. Military officials confirmed he completed some basic training from August until October last year before voluntarily leaving. Manassian had his first court appearance yesterday. The attack has garnered international media attention. Police say it will take several days before a full list of the victims' names are released, but as of today, at least 5 of the 10 who died have been identified. 30-year-old Anne-Marie DeMaco was the first victim to be identified in the attack on Yonge Street. She worked at Invesco, a U.S.-based investment management company located in the area. Dorothy Sowell was confirmed as another victim by her grandson. She was 80 years old and a retired Sears employee. She's remembered by her family as a lover of Toronto sports. Chol Ming Kang also died in the incident. His workplace, Copacabana Brazilian Steakhouse, confirmed his death. He was a chef there. The Jordanian embassy in Ottawa says Manur Abed al-Najjar was also killed. He was visiting his son in Toronto. Renuka Amar Uj Singh also died in the attack. She was the single mother of a 7-year-old son. A GoFundMe has been started to support her child. 2 unnamed South Korean citizens are reported to have been killed. South Korea's Foreign Affairs Ministry confirmed the news via Twitter. Lastly, Seneca College also confirmed that a female student died in the attack. Her identity isn't being released due to privacy concerns. The Toronto police officer who took down and arrested the alleged van attacker in a busy area north of downtown is being hailed as a hero. Constable Ken Lamb apprehended Alec Manassian on Monday after the 2 men engaged in a standoff. Bystander video shows the attacker on one side beside the rental van used in the rampage, with one arm extended and a possible weapon in his hand. It was later revealed not to be a gun. On the other side, Lamb slowly approaches Manassian with his pistol drawn. Manassian moves towards Lamb aggressively, but the officer shows restraint and de-escalates the situation. Lamb maintains his composure, draws his baton, and moves in for the arrest. Praise has been pouring in after the video went viral for how Lamb handled the situation without firing his gun. It's been about 48 hours since the deadly attack. The City of Toronto is still reeling, as is the country. Now, Torontonians are coming together as one to support the 10 victims killed and others in the hospital. Humber News reporter Adriana DeSanto has more from a vigil in North York held Tuesday night.
Toronto is still mourning after the deadly van attack that left the city in complete shambles. Many gathered in Olive Square at the Yonge and Finch Memorial to leave flowers, candles, and signs of messages to support the victims. Organizers from the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat community were at the vigil. They held a silent prayer and preached love. Ahmed Sahi says this is not only a loss for Toronto, but a loss for all of Canada.
People are coming here to mourn. I know there's a lot of media here, there's a lot of things here, but at the heart of it all, it's a time for grief. time for grieving, mourning, and that has been the underpinning of it all. That said, people are also, finding warmth in each other at this time, and this message of love for all different people are actually galvanizing around this. So it's great to see it actually.
Other posters were left at the memorial as the Muslim group continued to spread their condolences throughout the evening. The community's imam says it's important to come together as a big family to show support.
Extremely important when such sad events happen, we come together as a bigger family, because we lost 10 people of that family yesterday. So it's important to show our support, and the best way to show our support is to pray for the victims and the families and those who are injured. The Ahmadiyya Muslim community, we are Muslims who believe in the Messiah, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. Our motto is love for all, hatred for none, and we believe that we can come together through this motto, love for all, hatred for none. This can bring us together through this difficult time.
Mayor John Tory says a foundation has been set up under the name Toronto Strong to assist the families affected by this tragedy. Another vigil will be held Sunday at Mel Lastman Square at 7 p.m. Meanwhile, the memorial continues to grow in Olive Square to support those lost and recovering in hospital. This is one of the most tragic scenes Toronto has seen in recent history, yet the community has come together to commemorate those who have lost their lives. Adriana DeSanto, Humber News.
After a difficult week, Toronto is doing its best to come together as one. Tonight, Torontonians are using their love of sports to try and heal. Eugenio Garo is here with our sports update.
Thank you, Molly. It's a Toronto sports fans' dream night. 5 of Toronto sports teams in action, with 4 of the 5 being a playoff matchup. The Leafs, Raptors, Jays, TFC, and the Marlies are all in action. But Game 7 between the Leafs and Bruins takes place tonight in Boston. Toronto is looking to become the 29th team in NHL history to come back and win a series after being down 3-1. As for Boston, they are trying to turn it around after taking a 2-0 series lead and looking as if they're running away with the series. It's deja vu for the Leafs, who 5 years ago took on the Bruins in a Game 7. The Leafs fought back in that series after being down 3-1 and taking a 4-1 lead in that Game 7, but they would blow that lead in the third period before losing in overtime. But that was then, and this is now. There are new faces both on the ice and in the front office. 5 is the magic number. That game was 5 years ago, and there are still 5 players on the Leafs roster from that collapse. It is do or die for Toronto. Puck drop is 7:30. And staying in the rink, the Marlies are in Utica, New York for Game 3 of their playoff series against the Utica Comets. With a win, the Marlies can advance to the second round. Puck drop is 7 o'clock. It's a busy night in the NBA, and we start with the Raptors, who return home to Jurassic Park and look to turn things around in Game 5 against the Wizards. After jumping out to a 2-0 series lead, the Raptors looked like the #1 seed that they are this season. With the Cleveland Cavaliers looking like they were struggling in their series, everything seemed as if it was finally falling into place for the Raps. Then Toronto went into Washington, where turnovers played a major factor in the Wizards winning both games and tying the series at 2 apiece. With the home team winning every game in the series, you can say the advantage goes to the Raptors tonight, but in the playoffs, you never know what is going to happen. To say the Raptors are relying on their big guns is an understatement. DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry, the floor is yours. Tip-off at 7 o'clock at the Air Canada Centre. In other NBA action tonight, the Cleveland Cavaliers take on the Pacers, Toronto's Andrew Wiggins and his Timberwolves take on Houston, and Oklahoma City takes on the Utah Jazz. Now over to the pitch, where TFC looks to bring home the CONCACAF Championship. In the first leg of this matchup at BMO Field last week, Guadalajara topped TFC by a score of 2-1. So if Toronto was able to pull it off tonight, they will have to win by 2 goals. TFC was able to pull off wins against Mexican giants Tigres and Club America, but failed to win in Mexico in both those matchups. Their best result would be a 1-1 draw at the Estadio Azteca against Club America. If TFC is able to pull off the win, they will be the first team outside of Mexico to win the CONCACAF Champions League. Kickoff is 9:30. Over to the Rogers Center, where the Blue Jays were taking on the Boston Red Sox. Before the game, the Jays honored the first responders to Monday's van attack in the city. Toronto has also hung a banner in center field saying Toronto Strong. The game was back and forth, but it was Curtis Granderson hitting a walk-off home run to give the Blue Jays a 4-3 win. Tonight, the Jays send Aaron Sanchez to the mound. He's searching for his second win of the season. He goes up against Boston's Eduardo Rodriguez. First pitch is 7:07. Studies show that participation in sports is much lower for girls than it is for boys. One former Canadian Olympian is trying to change that. Humber News reporter Christina Mulheron brings us to this story on girls playing hockey.
Whether it was their first time lacing up or they were simply looking to improve their game, young girls were welcomed to the MasterCard Center for the Scotiabank's Girls Hockey Fest over the weekend. The event was hosted by two-time Olympic gold medalist Cassie Campbell-Pascal.
Well, we've been doing the Scotiabank Girls Hockey Fest for about 13 years, and I think it's important for many reasons, but the big one for me is I remember growing up and myself and my friend Steph Slade were the only two girls in the Eddie Shack Hockey School. And now we put on these programs and there's over 300 girls, and some girls trying hockey for the very first time, and because it's a free program, it allows their parents maybe to see if they like the game before they spend a lot of money on it. And for me, it's just getting the girls out there with other girls and learning about confidence and learning the things that hockey can give them, from their characteristics like hard work and discipline and just going out there and having fun. And I think that's what we try to lead by example with here.
This is the 13th year of the Scotiabank Girls Hockey Fest, which is an important event seeing as girls' interest in sports does decline as they get older.
A 2016 study by the Canadian Association of the Advancement of Women in Sport shows that 4 out of 10 girls from toddler through teen years don't play sports. Of those who do, the number drops significantly after they enter adulthood, with only 16% of women participating in sports. Christina and Fraser Gregg brought their 9-year-old daughter to the event to train with one of the best.
We found out about it from our organization. Our daughter plays for the Clarington Flames, and they told us about it. And it's just a great opportunity to give her some role models to look up to in girls hockey.
Well, I mean, it's an opportunity you can't pass up. It's fantastic to bring that level of experience to the girls. I think the girls are better for it after today. So it's been a good experience, and a lot of fun for the girls.
As for Campbell, she believes all girls need is a little extra encouragement.
I think support them. If we support more female sports, they'll have more role models to look up to and people that they see that have accomplished great things.
Christina Mulheron, Humber News.
A really great story there. Just a reminder that Jurassic Park / Maple Leaf Square will be open tonight and showing both games. The main big screen will play the Raptors game, but other screens will be put out in the square showing Game 7 between the Leafs and the Bruins. It's the perfect night to sit back, grab some nachos and wings, throw on those PJs, and enjoy all the action with a drink, or maybe 5. That's all for sports. Now back over to you, Molly.
Thanks, Eugenio. If you're looking for an excuse to stay inside and watch your favorite TV shows or movies, today might be your day. We're expecting rain all day. Here's your 3-day forecast. Well, as I said, we're in for a rainy day. Periods of drizzle as the afternoon progresses. We could see up to 10 to 15 millimeters of rain, a high of 11 and a low of +5 overnight. Tomorrow, mainly cloudy with showers in the morning before clearing during the day. High winds gusting up to 40 kilometers an hour with a high of 16 degrees, a low of +2 in the evening. And on your Friday, the last day of classes for Humber College, a mix of sun and cloud and a high of 14 degrees, reaching a low of 4 overnight. We leave you today with this. After fleeing the war and settling in Brussels, a group of Syrian musicians staged a concert. They did so with hopes to raise support for their country and challenge xenophobia. The concert, held on the eve of the 2-day donor conference, hopes to raise more humanitarian aid for Syria. Supported by the European Union, it is aimed to highlight the resilience of the Syrian people and empower them to tell their stories. One musician says he wants to send a message through the concert that refugees want to create beautiful things in their new homes. They hope this will contribute towards a peaceful end to this violence in Syria. That's all for today. Remember, you can head to humbernews.ca anytime for all the day's news and much more. Humber News is written and produced by students in the journalism program. Our technical crew are students in the broadcast videography program. I'm Molly McTaggart. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time.